Hello, everyone. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2026. This is the bi-weekly Kubeflow Model Registry community call. As with all Kubeflow meetings, we follow the CNCF Code of Conduct. And just as a quick reminder, this meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Kubeflow community YouTube channel. Before we begin, is there anyone that wants to add any notes? Or if there's anyone that wants to introduce themselves? I don't think we have anyone new here, but just in case. All right. If not, I will jump into just a couple general reminders. So as always, anyone's welcome to contribute any demos, discussion points, just quick PRs you want to share, issues you've raised. Always welcome to share those. If you have some demos or short videos, or anything you want to share, just showcasing some work you've done, we can also add that to the YouTube channel just to share with the community. Feel free to ask for help with editing any videos. And just a quick reminder, since it's sort of new, we do now have a AI policy. I'll mention a little more on that later, but just remember to look at that and make sure you're following it. So now to dive into the agenda, we have had the graduation request waiting in the CNCF TOC board for a while. This morning I checked it and it was still waiting to move on to the next stage, but just a couple hours ago, it moved on to let's see, the second column here, into TOC evaluation. So that is a good sign for us. This is where you can find it. And then I think, Matteo, you said there was not much to report on the second item, the Kubeflow security to review. Um, so
Yeah,
we'll keep an eye on that. Yep, go
yeah.
ahead.
In that, let's say at the time when there was the security audit, we were in touch with some teams performing some security reports. We quickly addressed at the time some of the issues that they raised, and more there was some statements about the use of fuzzers that we got corrected. At least they acknowledge the comments. I don't see any more update on the thread, so I think that we can just keep it solved. And when eventually Kubeflow eventually graduates, then we can check if any security report is also attached. We can just remind ourselves maybe to check that there is no some wrong, still old statement in there. But at present, I don't have any visibility further beyond that point.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. And then next item was Copilot for AI assisted code reviews. This can help in GitHub in various ways. We talked about this a couple times in the past. I did manage to go ahead and make a request to add just some of us that are in this CNCF Foundation's project maintainers file. There are some of us that are project maintainers that are not yet in this file. And so if anyone has any questions about how to kind of get through this process and submit the request, feel free, but it should basically be this. You'll just need to be in one of our owners files. I think a subcomponent of the repo should be fine if it's in a subdirectory. This file, and then there's some instructions in the blog post announcement. I'm happy to help with anything here. Unless anyone has anything else to add on this topic, I'll kind of move on since we've talked about it previously. We also talked about AI guidelines in the past. Just wanted to call out that PR was merged, and also just you're looking for that AI policy, you can just go to kubeflow.org, community, find it here. Basically, you'll need to understand any code you submit and call it out if you do use AI significantly. And then I don't think there was too much to note on post 1.11. It's been a while now, but if anyone has anything there. And then on Trivy, we had some discussion in the past. I don't think we had a lot of open items on this, but was there anything else we need to cover or take action on?
I was just scanning the security thread, but I don't see anything specifically for it.
I think we took care of most of the items there. We had
Yeah.
pinned that previously, which helped. So I will say all set and maybe remove this in the future, this item. And then a few items we covered before, kind of just want to call these out again. Alessio's Catalogs Gen CLI tool is still on hold, I believe. We wanted to get some major feature work out of the way to have sort of a more clean state to work in. So this is still in draft. Comments and questions are still welcome. And then I think we will go ahead and proceed with this at some point in the future. Stop me if I'm moving too quickly on anything or anyone has comments. Um, next Kubeflow release, we have a few items. We've talked about most of these in the past, but just wanted to check if there's anything from Mike or anyone on the UI side, any updates on this. Totally fine if not.
Yeah, sorry. So I did reach out to Lucas and have a brief conversation with him about it, and then he went on PTO. He just got back, and I need to follow up with him.
No worries at all. Sounds good. I think I did see some recent activity on this. So, of course, if anyone is interested or involved, and maybe a good example of that co-pilot assistant here. And then Kubeflow Hub renaming. We've talked about this for a while. I think we're starting to make some progress here. That KEP was previously approved, the community one, and there was one around the implementation details within Model Registry. So renaming this repo and whatnot. So we just have to go ahead and do that work. The logo change is tracked here, and I'm realizing I think it's been a little while, so I'll go ahead and uh, ask if there are any updates on this. It might just take a while, but um, and then I think we've talked about this one as well before, but if anyone wants to give a read through this and test it out and let us know what you find, that would be great. And finally, some exciting news. Addison is about to become a approver in the model registry repo. She's done a lot of great work, long list of PRs, reviews, contributions, a lot in the model catalog as well as other areas. So yeah, thank you, Addison, so much for all the hard work. If anyone has any comments on this, feel free to speak up or drop those in the PR. I expect we'll merge this later today.
Yeah, if people can put the comments or more congratulations, let's say, in the GitHub, it has better visibility. So typically we done this one in the past. So just a reminder for the people on the call that this PR is open and congratulations message. Sort of like I think is a good time to celebrate when we have this type of PRs, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for that remark. And then Matt, are you here? Did you bring this up? Or would someone bring this up on behalf of Matt? So we do have, oh, go, was that someone speaking up? we do have this MLflow integration for experiment tracking. There is discussion on a number of topics. There was a point where this was geared towards possibly doing experiment tracking in Kubeflow. It's a little more geared now towards, making MLflow more of a first-class citizen in Kubeflow and using their experiment tracking features. There was a comment. Sorry if I'm making anyone dizzy here. Uh, there were some discussions around kind of what is the role of model registry given this. So I just wanted to point out a little bit of discussion here if anyone has any thoughts or comments on that. And this is probably what was mentioned here. Did all that scrolling. So yeah, did anyone want to discuss anything on this topic or whoops, sorry, or anything else?
Yeah, one question there, John. Maybe this is to Matthew. On the renaming of the repo, can we go ahead, or do we need to wait for the CNCF graduation there, Matthew?
No, it's like as we discussed on this topic multiple times. There was no sort of like a relation between the CNCF graduation and the topic. So it's like we can do the rename now, and actually per the plan, if you rename the repo not by, here is the key thing. Last time we were kind of like doing a process that in my opinion is not correct when we move the repo over. So the thing here will be, let's have the KSC help us rename the repo using the GitHub functionality. This way we keep the link. I want to avoid a situation where we did like for other reasons last time, where we clone the repo under another name and then all links breaks for number of years, also for requests and issues. So let's rename the repo. Let's do the thing that is detailed in the plan that Chris has put down. And in these ways, like if there is any question, actually we have not only the cap number 3 by Chris, but also we have the decision cap by the KSC at the time. It's like it takes always a great number of months that we can see for CNCF TOC to make an approval. So it's not that we can freeze the work.
How do we go about making a request to the KSC?
I think it's just a quick message to Andre showing maybe a link to the cap number 3 in our repo to say, hey, we would like to have it renamed to hub, and I think they can just do it. So
do you think that we are at that stage, John, so that we can
I think we are, unless anyone has any concerns. We need to make sure the Golang paths there may be some things there we need to make sure we update and do in conjunction. I don't think this won't break any documentation or anything if we follow this note. We just ask anyone with admin privileges in the GitHub repo to do the rename. That should be pretty simple. So unless anyone has any concerns about this, I think we can go ahead and do this.
Not a concern, but maybe just a suggestion. It will be ideal to do it in a week where most people are not pressed in other urgencies. So that as soon as we act on it, there will be some links that will break beyond what we identified what Chris has identified in that KSC, in that kind of apologies. So my only sort of like is like that was a true assessment, but it's only at the face of reality that we will understand if we have some unforeseen impact. So sort of like doing that in a week that is not particularly overloaded, I would say is I will save the chance for doing that in that kind of week. Just because I've lived through similar pain in the past, so
Yeah. All right. Next week it is the Second one is congratulations to Addison. It's deserved. The one question I did wanted to ask her is, as she's the release manager, what's been the conversation in terms of the next releases in the Kubeflow community?
Are you referring to the previous conversation that we had about the new way that we're naming the versions?
No, Addison. I mean, are they talking about any succession planning to 1.11, right? Are they talking about 1.12, or what's the release coming up, and what's the timelines and along those lines, if you know of any?
Nothing specific for the next upcoming release, but I will keep us posted here when there's more details.
Yeah. One thing we as a community we need to huddle together is to probably put together, at least previously we have done, is created a Git issues, and we track the kind of features we are going towards in that next release. Something like a roadmap that to show the community where we are going. Obviously, there seems to be a lot of work towards the ML flow integration, KEP side of it, as well as catalog side of it. There may be a good thing to bring the deployment one that we were talking with the UI. So I think it start having that list put together, maybe a good thing to show to the community.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't had a meeting for the releases in a few weeks, but they're back on track starting next week. So I can do that.
I think we are just past the current one, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can bring that the default UI and stuff, call it out in that roadmap thing, so that we have a target where we want to achieve those.
Sure.
Great idea. Awesome.
What else? Yeah. I say, I think this the KEP on the ML flow is a key thing. So I encourage everybody to put your thoughts in there in terms of how you see it, how we can build the bridges between those two.
Sounds good.
As a community, if we can make headway there, I think that's going to be really useful.
Yeah, agreed. And this is a broad topic. Like I mentioned here, we may want to write a KEP of our own or something a little more in length. But if anyone has some just high level ideas or feedback on this discussion, yeah, that would be great. All right. Any other items we want to cover? All right. If not, I will call it here. Thank you everyone for joining, and see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.